Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday Leeds Champions League. Chris here, aka Big Will, and today we have two important league games for you. We are away against Carlisle and at home against Gillingham. As you can see from the league table, we are still stood atop of the league. We're still playing some really good football at the moment. We are 8 points clear of second place Tranmere, with a further 3 points to Morecambe and Gillingham. Tranmere and Morecambe, albeit, do have a game in hand at the moment. In terms of things in general, obviously Carlisle are chasing those playoff places and Gillingham chasing the automatic promotion places as well. Gillingham did beat us earlier in the campaign, but our recent form has continued to be very strong. Since you were last with us, it was the Cambridge game and South Shields, of course. We lost 4-2 away against Wickham. It was a bit of an anomaly, that result. We just couldn't really get going in the game, and we thoroughly got beaten, to be quite honest. It was a very poor showing from our perspective, even though we did go ahead twice in the match. We then beat Burton by 2-0, a 3-2 win over Southend, a 4-1 win away against York, and a 3-1 win at home against Grimsby. We then drew 0-0 with Northampton, which was not the best result realistically, but our keeper for the day, Lorenz Ferdinand, had a really good game and got the Man of the Match award. So there's been quite a lot going on in the January transfer window as well. Joe had agreed a move to Middlesbrough for just short of £2 million, which of course from a club of our size, that £2 million would have been a huge opportunity. However, we just couldn't get it done. He failed a work permit. And in terms of our general January, obviously the target was to add some real quality to the squad, and we have managed to do so. We've still got a little bit of money spare. We've offloaded Seb Drummond, who was our fourth choice centre-back, on a free transfer, and Charlie Wellens has also left the club on a free transfer as well. So we got the wages off the books, and we managed to bring in that really good player in the central midfield that we were looking for. Connor Barron is the man that we brought in, 28 years of age, Scottish international, just the one cap to his name at the moment. But as a general player, I think he's a really, really good talent, to be fair. Fairly professional personality as well, so he is going to be very much the kind of player that we need. 14 for teamwork, 18 for work rate, good determination. Technical's not overly the best, but he's a good set piece taker as well, which is another big reason why we brought him in. And in terms of his career stats, he's not an out-and-out goal scorer. He more often than not plays in the defensive midfield. We are going to be using him a little bit further forward, though, so he may break into the team in terms of scoring goals a little bit more. He started off really well in these opening 4 games. He's managed a 7 rating overall. Previously of Aberdeen, he came through their academy, played for Rangers for a few years, and played for Preston in the Championship and in League One. Speaking of Preston, we also had a job interview with them. They came in and had a look at us, but in the end, following the interview, they decided to go elsewhere. It would have obviously been what this episode is. Probably, to be fair, it would have probably come out yesterday as a bit of a special one, but in the end, we didn't get the job. So we are cracking on in our push for promotion. And the other signing that we managed to make, following the injury to Louis Molden, who's going to be out for 2 to 3 months, so he could be out realistically until the end of the season, we had to get out there and find another goalkeeper. First team ready, Jack Porter is the man that we brought in. 6'1", balanced personality. His determination isn't the best, but goalkeeping attribute-wise, he's not too bad. He's got good concentration, good positional, decent agility as well. He's good with his one-on-ones, and reflexes are reasonable as well. He's a decent goalkeeper for this level. He's coming as a cup goalkeeper, actually, so he'll be a worthy backup. But the thing is, as well, he's coming with a great valuation. Formerly of Arsenal's academy, 1.3 million to 2.6. And should anything happen, and we need to sell him, we're obviously going to be making good money. He's coming on a free transfer, so he will make his debut potentially in the next match. Lorenz Ferdinand, obviously his transfer value is 0. He's out of contract at the end of the season. we have agreed to release him. In terms of other contracts, I am keeping an eye on things at the moment. There's a number of players like Cartwright, Dixon Bonner, Adam Phillips as well, and Bedo and Sutton, who I'm not too sure if we'll renew deals with them at the moment. Garrett's another one. He's had a really good season so far, 33 years of age though. And obviously Louis Moulton as well. They're all out of contract at the end of the season. So it could be a case of rebuilding coming into next year, but it depends whether we end up getting promoted or not as to how far we go. Some of the players we've already agreed to release, Kyle Noyle, Adam Caddick, and Patrick Roberts, are all going to be leaving the club. So it's going to be an interesting summer for sure when we get to it. But it's going to be a case of if we can continue doing what we're doing in this promotion fight. So the team for today, we've got Porter starting in goal, Gordon at right back with Joe and Atkinson and Bedo starting at left back today. Oni and Dixon, Bonner and Barron are the midfield three, with Roberts on the right, Kellerman on the left, and Garrity up front. A little bit of rotation in there. A couple of the players just keeping an eye on things fitness-wise at the moment. Realistically, I think, to be honest, Janato's absolutely fine to be playing on that right-hand side at the moment. He's not struggling in the way of fitness, so I'm not too sure why that's happened there. And McFarlane is struggling a little bit for fitness, so we'll keep him on the bench. Big key signing for us at the start of the season. 5 goals and 8 assists so far from the left back this season. Taylor has dropped out of the team a little bit. Luckily, we are looking like we're going to be able to keep him until the end of the season, but he's just not really done anything since coming back to us on loan, which is a bit of a shame, really. But it is what it is. He's still a very good player, but realistically, I think we may have, with the system that we're playing at least, started to outgrow him a bit. He's more of that attacking midfielder. We're not using that role, of course, and hopefully we can just continue doing what we're doing. We've had another really good unbeaten run, and I'm just hopeful that we can continue. It's 2 tough games today, though, and let's see how we get on. I fully expect both games to be tough, but we do seem to always be finding a way to win our matches at the moment. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get off to a quick start today and put the pressure on as Ginato plays it into Garrity, into Barron, and he's got forward here and he's produced a really good save there from Breeze. And like I say, he's not a massive goal scorer, Connor Barron. He previously to the seasons that he had with Preston, didn't score a goal in 4 years, and Kellerman is there. And somehow that didn't take a deflection at all, and it's gone out for a goal kick. But that was a really good chance, that. Kellerman firing in the shot there. And somehow it went clean through everybody and ended up going out for a goal kick. But a really positive start from our perspective. We need to keep up this momentum. And again, in terms of the team's balance, it seems to be going quite well. Everything seems to be working for us at the moment. Obviously, we're beating the teams that we should be. The teams that are a little bit lower down in the league for the most part, but we just need to keep up this momentum. We have to win these playoff chasers against these playoff chasers, the likes of Carlisle, the likes of Gillingham, who, of course, when we played them at the start of the season, they were top of the league at that point, and they absolutely hammered us as Ogwush here gets on the ball for Carlisle into the penalty area, and it's come off the post, and Joe scoops it away, and Kellerman wins the header, and it goes out for a throw. Porter's not the tallest of goalkeepers, by the way. I think he's, I did say a minute ago, didn't I? I think he's 6'1". So he's not the tallest, but hopefully he's got enough awareness about him. He's got good positioning and everything as well. So I'm hoping that from that perspective, it will see us quite well. Obviously, the 0-0 draw in the last game against Northampton wasn't the best result, to be honest. We should be beating them, given the nature of the campaign so far. But from a general perspective, we just need to keep doing what we're doing. Barron, with the delivery from the corner, it's poor. Feeney clears it easily. Kellerman back into Barron, plays it back to Kellerman. Good exchange of passes to the far post. Ginato heads it back across, and there is Ben Garrity, and there is the opening goal right on the stroke of half-time. It was well worked on that left-hand side, despite the initial Poor delivery from Conor Barron on the corner. A very simple clearance, and Barron exchanging passes with Kellyman, scooped in toward that far post. And Ginato, to be fair to him, did really well to control that header, and Garrity with the header in off the inside of the post for his 10th goal of the season, and a perfect time to score, to be quite honest, just as we're approaching half time, and hopefully it's something that we can build on. We may have to make a substitution, to be quite honest. I did notice that Kellerman has taken a little bit of a knock, but he's not completely short of the fitness from it. So we'll just keep an eye on him for the moment, and then we may take him off as the second half progresses. But hopefully it's not going to be anything too serious. We do have the options, I think, on the bench anyway, so we'll just see how we get on. Joe here, managing to get the interception into Bedo, and now Conor Barron plays it into the central area and looking for Dixon Bonner. It's a poor pass, and now Ogwuch into Naziri. Back into Ogwuch. That's a great reverse pass to Doyle, and it's hit both posts there from Doyle, and Porter just gets a hold of it. I mean, there was so much space on our right-hand side there, their left, and he could have easily played it out wide, but that reverse pass into the centre was a brilliant ball, and realistically, it should have been a goal, that, for Carlisle. We do need to just pick ourselves up a bit here. We do seem to be letting them back into the game, and Doyle, again, looking to run the show, plays it into Henry, and now Harper. Gray, back into Harper. Still trying to work it into the penalty area. The referee almost getting in the way there, and the ball in took a big deflection, but in the end, the shot, again, goes over the bar. And I think we are just going to pause there. I think we do need to get that little bit of an outlet again. Kellerman is going to come off, and we're going to bring Silijmanovic on that left-hand side. And I don't think it's worth risking. If he has taken a knock, he's not going to be going all guns blazing for it. In terms of the match stats, to be fair, it's been a very even game. We have had a few more attempts at goal. Possession, very, very even as well. Here is Bedo into Barron. And now Atkinson. And now Oni. Lays it back into Joe. Lofts it over the top, looking toward Garrity. It's cleared by Wilson. Oni picks it up, finds Dixon Bonner, and the shot again. A little bit poor, to be honest. Should have done a little bit better. But with half an hour to go, we're still not looking too bad. The game is, as I said, very, very even. We've had twice as many attempts at goal, but we're not hitting the target, and that is where the problems do seem to lie. Conor Barron here with a set piece, whips it in, looking right into the centre of the penalty area. Silijmanovic picking it up here, gets down the left-hand side. It's a good delivery, but there was no one to aim at. Everyone had left the penalty area. And again, like I say, it was a really good delivery. Very dangerous, but no one was there to attack it. And it remains 1-0. It's not been the best showing from our perspective. We've got a few ratings that are hitting over 7, and I think it's just controlling the pace of the game, to be honest, in that midfield area. Incidentally, Conor Barron is struggling a little bit for fitness, so we're going to get Phillips and Cartwright on, I think, because Dixon Bonner is also struggling. And we're going to get Patrick Roberts on as well for Ginato. And Bedo is struggling at left back as well, so McFarlane can come on and give us a boost in that back line as well. Considering we've controlled the majority of the game in that central midfield, it's a bit of a risk taking them off, but I don't want to risk too many injuries. We've got another really tough game coming up in a week's time, and hopefully we can maintain this momentum again. McFarlane here with a throw, just a couple of minutes left in added time, and he's taking his time here, waving his arms about, plays it into Cartwright, good little 1-2 between them, plays it to the edge of the area for Oni, now Phillips into Gordon, and it's whipped in by Gordon, and he's hit it off the crossbar. I mean, I don't know if it was a shot or a cross. It looked a little bit more like a shot to me, but it was a really good effort, and it's ended up going out, back out to us. Nothing came from it, but it's another 3 points on the board. Overall, we probably deserve it based on the match stats, and that is another really good performance, and it's another clean sheet. So really happy with that. And again, because we've only made a couple of signings in the January transfer window, which is going to close in a couple of days' time still. So there might still be some business to be done. It's unlikely, but there may still be business to be done. I'm not too sure at the moment if there's anywhere we really need to strengthen. Obviously, the team cohesion's still very good. And from a general perspective, we don't want to upset the apple cart too much. And fingers crossed, we can push on in our next match. So bear with me. It's in a week's time, so we'll come back for that one momentarily. And hopefully we can get our revenge on Gillingham, who, of course, had the better of us last time out. Okay, then here we go for the home game against Gillingham. It's a big game for us, this one. Couple of injuries. Kellerman is going to be out for a little while, as is Sulijmanovic. He has been injured in training. So in terms of out wide, we are going to be struggling a little bit for options. Janssen is going to start on one side and Gennaro is going to start on the other. But other than that, we shouldn't be too bad. We are lacking a little bit of options up front, but Janssen and Gennaro can both play there. So if we need to rotate, then we will. Janssen, not particularly well suited to an inside forward role. It's not a position he's really played, but he can play on that attacking left-hand side anyway. So we'll just see how he gets on. A little bit of rotation at the back as well. Sutton starting at centre back today with Atkinson and McFarlane back in the first team. And Barron is going to be the attacking midfielder this time. So it'll be interesting to see how things shape up for him. And Cartwright being that playmaker with Oni, again, the anchor man in that midfield. We did have another bid from Middlesbrough for Joe on transfer deadline day. We rejected it. He was more than happy to stay at the club. And the thing is, it was actually overall, it was a similar amount of money than that they offered last time, but this time it was a structured deal rather than just straight money. It wouldn't have benefited us particularly, so therefore we rejected it. And from that perspective, he is still an Oldham player. He takes his place on the bench today. Obviously, we've got plenty of options for midfield today on the bench, and if anything is required up front, we will have to have a look at it during the match. So, of course, Gillingham did have the beating of us last time out. I've probably said it about 5 times already, so I do apologise for that one. But we want a bit of revenge today. Obviously, we were right at the start of the season and we hadn't really got going with this momentum as of yet. So hopefully this time we can find a way to get a good result. Obviously, we did play, I think when we did get beat by them, we did play the formation that we started with at the start of the campaign as well. So obviously since then, things are working out reasonably well. But Gillingham are a good side. They're sat in the playoff places at the moment. They're putting the pressure on, and we just need to be fully aware, especially of their attacking midfielder, because that was the guy, I believe, that really did us in last time out. Sutton, again with another headed clearance. Cooper picks it up. It takes a deflection, and Palmer Holden's free in the area, and that is a dreadful miss from the Gillingham man. He should have at least been hitting the target there. Incidentally, the guy that really took us to the sword in that previous game isn't playing in the match this time, I believe. Here is McFarlane into Atkinson. And now Sutton, just holding on to possession, breaking into that midfield area, finds a lot of space. He's not really got an awful lot of support there, but finds Cartwright into Janssen, Gennaro, back into Cartwright, and Janssen again strikes from distance and he's hit the crossbar. And I think actually the keeper may have touched it onto the crossbar as well. Janssen, I think, is a really good player, but he's just not quite got into the first team regularly as of yet. He could be a key player for us going forward, but again, he's just not quite had that momentum to break into the team yet. Barron into Gennaro. Tries to cut inside. It's a good tackle from the fullback, but Gennaro gets it back from Barron. Couldn't quite get a strike away. Lays it back to Oni in space. And now Cartwright into Atkinson. We're not leaving too many players back here. That's a great pass from Atkinson. McFarlane is in, plays it across, and there is the goal from Bruno Gennaro. And I think he was onside as well. It was a really well-worked move, an 11th goal of the season for the Brazilian. And incidentally, apparently he was being linked with a loan move at the end of that January transfer window. And I was looking at it thinking, well, he's a key player for us. He's played quite a lot of football. And I immediately shut that one down. We didn't get any offers for him, but I immediately shut that rumour down and said not a chance. He is staying with us in the first team, and that is a really good start from our perspective. Half an hour nearly gone, and we do take a deserved lead. Cartwright into Garrity, and now Barron back into Garrity. That's a great pass, and Janato's in again, and he took the strike early, and he could have gone a little bit closer, really, but Ashby Hammond just getting his fingertips to it to get it around the post and out for a corner. Barron with the delivery. Again, it's a poor delivery from him, considering he's one of the best set-piece takers at the club. That was very poor. And here is Oni coming into the midfield area. Cartwright back into Oni. Now McFarlane breaking into the penalty area again. Can he get the cross in again? I mean, he's worked it superbly, and it's bundled about in the penalty area. And in the end, Cullinane manages to get it clear, but that could very easily have been 2-0 there. And we are very much a dominant force in this match. Gillingham yet to have an attempt on target in the first half. They're having the majority of the ball. Again, it's no hardship. It's reasonably even, to be honest, only about 5% either way. But we are very much the dominant force here. McFarlane certainly has been the standout signing of the season for me. It's a good delivery there, and Porter making a good claim. But I think, to be quite honest, despite all the attacking changes we've made to the team, obviously following the big sales that we had and everything as well, McFarlane very much could be the signing of the season. He has been outstanding in that left-back role. And at half-time, we have a one-goal advantage in a game that at the moment is very, very comfortable. But I say it more often than anything else. Where football is concerned, a one-goal lead is always dangerous. All it takes is one chance for the opposition, and they could very easily draw it level, and then your backs are against the wall. We need to get that second goal here and just prove the dominance that we've had in this match. But again, it's not like we're struggling in front of goal, to be quite honest. I know we drew 0-0 against Northampton. We only won against Carlisle by a goal to nil, but we're not looking like not scoring a goal. And that is a brilliant delivery from Barron. And McFarlane, speak of the devil, is back on the score sheet once again. It's a towering header from the fullback. I mean, he is quite tall for a fullback, from what I can recall. I think he's 6 foot or 6'1". I mean, he's just left his marker and he's absolutely charged into the penalty area there. And that is 2-0, and it's a really, really good header. And there is the goal that we needed. 2-0, and we just need to not rest on that, though. We're playing really well, but we need to just keep up this momentum and see if we can go on and get a third. Obviously, in the opening quarter of an hour, they had that massive chance, of course, which they put wide. So it could have looked very, very different as Carragher there wins the header. And now Walters coming forward here for Gillingham down this right-hand side. Can he get the cross in? We're not putting the pressure on him too much. And Greaves is there with a header. And with their first shot on target, they have scored. Jack Greaves with the finish. And Porter, not the best goalkeeping from him. And Walters did quite well down that right-hand side, but we didn't close him down enough, to be honest. And Greaves winning the header, and we didn't really challenge for it, incidentally. In the air, Sutton and Gordon, neither of them really putting themselves in the mixer to try and win that. And with 20 minutes to go, Gillingham are right back in this match. Palmer Holden was the man that missed that big opportunity in the first half, and his match rating certainly dictates that, rating less than a 6 now. Can we hold on here? I think fresh legs are going to be required, for sure, with just a few minutes to go. I don't want to make too many changes all at once, but I think, again, I've left it a little bit late. Garrett is really struggling for his fitness. So we're going to move Janssen up front, and we'll bring Dixon Bonner on the left-hand side. Phillips can come on in the midfield for Connor Barron, and Atkinson can come off for Joe, and Beddoe can come on at left-back as well. I think we'll bring Taylor on as well. He's not had too many matches recently, so I think it's probably an ideal opportunity for him to come on, and we'll just play them that way round. Taylor can be the pressing midfielder and that attacking threat as well. And hopefully, for the last 10 minutes or so, we can just see this game out. Realistically, with the substitutions, I don't think we're really weakening the side either, and I think that's something that's really paid dividends for us this season. We've had a little bit more strength in depth, Obviously, in terms of our striking options, we have been a little bit short, but again, we keep getting away with it and we keep putting in the performances. A really good 2-1 win that against Gillingham. Very important victory for us. And it means that we maintain our position atop of the table, which even if we'd have lost both games, we would have done so anyway. But can we extend that gap a little bit more? The gap is at 5 points. Tranmere have won their game in hand, and the gap is now at 5 points, but we're 10 points clear of third and 17 points clear now of the playoffs. Promotion to me should be pretty much secured. Looking at that league table, we've got 12 games remaining, and we could very much be heading into League One. Realistically, I'm looking at that and thinking, yeah, job's done. But we saw it last season when we were in the playoff places. We just completely fell apart for 6 or 7 matches. We can't afford to do that in the position that we're in. I don't mind if we don't win the league title, to be quite honest. Promotion is the key aspect that we've got to look at. And in terms of the upcoming schedule, we've got some tough games to come for sure. I'm probably looking at getting 4 games out of the way, and we'll do probably Port Vale and Chesterfield. But at the same time, obviously, depending on how the league campaign does go, we may come back a little bit sooner if it means we can secure promotion. And then obviously we've got the likes of Tranmere there at home, 3 games from the end. So if they are still within touching distance at that point, then obviously that could be a big one. I think Morecambe, incidentally, as well. Are they the team in third? They are. So there's 2 massive games there toward the end of the season. Um, so I think realistically, I mean, it's a bit of a difficult one. I would like to come back in and around there just to break it up a bit, but then it's only a couple of games until those 2 matches. We'll see how things go. I think we'll see what happens in terms of the promotion race and things like that. If we can get automatically promoted a bit sooner, then we'll come back a little bit earlier. And then obviously, in terms of the league title side of things, depending on how things are, we'll come back for Morecambe and Tranmere rather than the last couple of games of the season. And we'll see what happens ready for next year. So until then, guys, thank you very much for your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.